My dad's like, if you want to win again, I can teach you how to win again. We've got to put the phone off. We've got to get that mindset back. Get rid of everything that's happened in the last couple of months. Speak to someone properly. Get your mind right. It's nothing to do with your ability. You're the man.
Let's dive into the session with none other than Chad Leclerc.
WhatsApp Chad to 084 000 947 to receive a link to watch or listen to this intimate discussion with Chad Leclerc.
It's all the stories that matter
and the people behind them.
You're plugged into
Your Story on 947 Drive with Tando.
So for more than 2 decades, he's been one of the defining voices of South African culture, from kwaito music to groundbreaking television, and a lifelong commitment to uplifting communities. His legacy continues to inspire the one and only Zola 7.
It's all the stories that matter
and the people behind them.
You're plugged into
Your Story on 947 Drive with Tando.
Zilazo 28. I catch him. Anongoloza bengicela nje njengelishe kunje twaka ithunda anongoloza umuntu. It's sounding like a song, but wait, I think we have the first artist on a genre of music which we can call quite opera. Please sign an autograph. I'm getting the first autograph. Come this second. Those who wanted to know where I am, I told them, and those did not feel good, they missed me. Hence I'm telling you, there's virtual reality South Africa and there's the real South Africa. What I'm doing almost has got nothing to do with the present. It's got something to do with the future, which unfortunately I won't be there to see because I'll have to move on. That's the way of life.
It's all the stories that matter
and the people behind them.
You're plugged into
Your Story on 947 Drive with Tando.
And he joins us live. Ladies and gentlemen, Zola 7. Wow. That felt to me like the soundtrack of my childhood. What an honor to sit across you and have this conversation with you today.
Yo, I'm your boy.
No, really, what an honor to have you. I will admit, though, I was 2 years old when I found out that Zola, the name you took from Uklale Zola.
Yes. Because I needed to kill Papa Action.
Okay.
Because I thought maybe that's some kind of intellectual property.
Yeah.
And I was the second Papa Action, so it wasn't going to work for me. And a lot of people were calling me Papa Action. I was like,
I remember like growing up in Soweto, like, but ungandlule Zola. Like, don't go past Zola. If you really takes it, make sure it doesn't go past Zola because it's so dangerous. And it had that sort of stigma back in the day, which I think you completely turned around.
Yeah, Nati, we had a girl that we never made a move on. She went to some school at Kogi, plays in a stripe because she always had a nobkiri popping at the back. Can't she was just playing field hockey, so Zanga Simshell. No, it was Zola. She just went to a private school.
But was Zola as dangerous as people made it out to be?
There were guys who were dangerous. I mean, there were guys like Amachek Roller. We're not really sure, but they were actively in Dawalezo. But I think there's also a misunderstanding. There was a lot of people who were coming from exile. From Zola and who were very vocal because here we are, there's a lot of uncles Zekasi, Abanama dreadlocks, and they're speaking another language and they're wearing very, very conscious from Tanzania and everywhere. And then I think somewhere Lapo, information got mixed up a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so it was misinformation. It's not that Zola was badly violent.
No, but you know, but you know, my uncle, we knew that.
Yes, No, and how does that affect then a young Zola growing up in Zola, raised by a single mom? How does it, influence the Zola that sits across us today?
You made your choices when you were young. You chose Abantu Funuk Ploma Nabo. You chose the people you wanted to listen to. I was always interested in these guys coming from Tanzania, Nabo Antibakwan, and the stories that they were saying, and that eventually will somehow also affect your lyrics in terms of hip hop, and then Svai Ilitla at some point as well too, and we are playing basketball, rugby, and those things affect how we become, and the books that we read, because there were books that were just not available at school. We didn't know that next door there was a black president called Robert. Nah, they didn't give us that information. But they told us about Bismarck and Adolf Hitler.
Yes. And I mean, a lot of people, a lot of successful people came out of Zola as well. And I think people don't talk about that often enough.
Yeah, we have lawyers, we have doctors. We have one girl we helped, and she became an aviation engineer.
Sure.
Umandi, so those things are not being talked about. I think in every hood, there are people like that. They're just not visible. And if they're not visible, then the information won't trickle down. Yeah.
And I mean, later on, we'll touch on Zola 7 and how you helped those people be visible. But let's start in the beginning where we met you, season 2 of Yuzo. You are replacing Roni at this time.
Yes.
Roni Nyakala.
Yes.
Obviously, Yuzo is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
You already understand what you're going into.
I know what I'm going through, and I'm shaking. I'm like, yo. At the same time, I'm rapping there on set, and the Bible's with what is he saying? And the other guys are translating what I'm saying. Turns out there's a project, Valium Music. So they grabbed me, they dragged me into the studio, and the rest.
But let's talk about the acting before we get into the
acting part.
Yeah.
Utebucho was very free. Utebucho would give us a script, like a guideline, and would say, guys, be free, speak the way in Nkuma Konekasi, because Nami Nkuma Kasi, so freestyle basically. So our acting was that easy, and every now and then you have to pick up something some stupid thing your uncle did, and you put it in there as a scene, it was like that.
Yeah.
Because Koni Uncle Lambel Fano Papa Action.
Ganjal, what would he do? What would he do?
He had a violent death, but he was a very wonderful uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell by, even just how South Africans received Yuzo. It was in a time where we're having conversations. I remember my mother would say, Yuzo, it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
In the black community or black families, the young kids were told to stay away from Yuzo. But I mean, we'd obviously, lunguza here and there. Why do you think it was so impactful?
The conversations were tough, okay? You have to look into a history of religion, right? You have to look into what Abelungu prefer to call our culture, but we prefer to call it a religion because you cannot relegate us into something else, And these things were taboo. They were not being discussed. And at some point, I sometimes think a lot of people got infected in HIV because these things were not discussed in time. A lot of boys and girls lost their virginity. If it was discussed in time, but it was always a taboo. It's always been a taboo for thousands and thousands of years. So Izo was trying to break that.
Yeah, and it did that successfully.
Yes.
It did that successfully. Also launched careers of many South Africans.
Hey.
Abo Shamini Mtinta, Tembisiete, Mishek Mavuso.
Hey.
I mean, this was for, I imagine a lot of you, the first on-screen job.
Hey, they launched us. I thought I was going to the moon and I landed on Mars. I was like, man.
Yeah.
And the journey is wonderful. I mean, companies that they never even looked at you, now they are all calling you. We're going to studios, other television companies like this is actually happening, and I can't lose this now. Because I have this background of mine.
And now with that, then comes the soundtrack for Yuzo. And I mean, like immediately when you hear it, the first thing you're thinking of is Yuzo. Was that a natural progression from the acting to the music?
Yes, because I'd always been a musician. I attend ema concerting, and stuff and everything. Ikwaito is big, but for some strange reason, you have your mega artist, but we don't know what. So this was like, okay, fine. This is us now. We're doing it on our own. And we don't know which why. And then we needed to protect this baby, and we were coming with hardcore lyrics.
Yeah.
We were not apologetic.
No, you were not apologetic.
No.
Where did that come from, right? Where you, in a world where everyone is saying and everything is saying, back valela, or things don't happen, but you were relentless and resilient.
Yes. I mean, I do have a background in hip hop. I do have a background in poetry. So Kwaito was easy for me. But Kwaito be fast. So you have to pack your lyrics in a certain way. And you have to pack that 16. Or KB is going to delete it and tell you to do it again. You know? He was like a very terrible principal.
We're hanging out with the legendary Zola 7. Zola 7 is in the building.
Come on. Hey.
Come on.
Hey.
And I mean, before we took a break, you spoke about how raw and honest your music was and unapologetic. And Drembe is like, come on. It doesn't get more raw than this. And this is how we are then introduced to you in the music world.
Yes. As a skinny kid.
Yeah.
I always say that people used to think, I'm hot. I was hungry. I just wanted I wanted to eat all the props, man. What are you doing here? Yeah.
And then I thought what was something really beautiful that you did is you introduced us to a completely different side of you with this one.
Yes. Good.
This is a softer Zola, but the story behind this is actually what I thought was the most interesting. The fact that Usis Tembisile Twala, who I understand is now passed away, she wrote in onto Zola 7, the show, to say, no one's taking me seriously as an opera singer.
And she gave me a challenge. And I said, okay, let's go. Okay.
What was the challenge?
She said, I want to do a song.
Yeah.
And then sang in the studio, and then she sang. I was like, okay, fine, let's go hip hop with this one. And then the lyrics just happened naturally because, you know, like, I think Maungangam, you've seen a friend or two bleeding a Strati, you know. So the lyrics kind of like came from there. And she nailed it. After that, she started traveling all over the world.
Wow.
We didn't see much of her. And then I believe she went to Kaya, Newcastle, with a Section 5. And then she's ever since passed on.
Yeah, may she rest
So the
in
song
peace.
stays there as a legacy.
Absolutely. And you are responsible for that. And that's just one of the many stories of people's lives you've changed. I'll never forget watching Zola 7. You come home, really, because there was nothing on television quite like that.
Yeah.
There was no social media. So the only way you seeing what's happening in the rest of South Africa other than the news is Zola's telling us what people in SA are going through in real time.
Even then, the parents sometimes would chase their kids away because would have just one raw episode. At the beginning, any mom would say, now this episode the kids cannot watch.
Yeah.
Would work with prostitutes, would work with all of these other people who've got people who really want to say things about what's happening on the streets and wherever they are. So Nakona depended on the type of episode that we are going to be airing that week.
What's the most memorable story that you received on Zola 7?
Some is the ones that we say we can't. Whereby
it didn't happen.
The channel was like, nah, this cannot happen.
Tell us.
You know,
it's many years later.
Yeah. I think Utembi was one of the best episodes I've ever done. There was also a young boy. I'm leaning more into what I do for a living. There was a young boy who wanted to do a video. He wanted to direct a video. So we ended up shooting a video. Ayengoma, that's where I'm from. I wrote that, and I think he was 13 then. And then there was also an episode of a young boy who he had lost one eye and was losing the other one. I think he wanted to become a DJ. That was a very touchy story with South Africans because their parents were looking at the fact, this kid is normal, he's just blind.
How did you manage to turn your image around that beautifully? Because Suwazu Papa Action, right?
Yes.
And back then, South Africans had a tough time discerning between the person and a character.
Yeah.
So you are Papa Action as far as we're concerned.
Yeah.
No, Papa Action is now helping, the poor.
I tell you what, in interviews, I deliberately spoke differently. Just telling people, I'm not that guy, I'm this guy, and I think this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And TV itself needed to go into some form of evolution. So every interview that I went to, I spoke differently.
How? What do you mean?
I just allowed people to know who I am and what's in my head and how I think as a kid at that point in time. And then it opened up a whole new world. It's okay, he's like this, he thinks like this. You can't do that psychologically.
Okay.
Yeah, without explaining.
Okay.
It. Yeah.
Speaking of a whole new world, you entered a whole new world when Tsotsi happened.
Ha.
You were literally, I didn't know you were on the Jay Leno's show. Is that correct?
Yes.
You performed on the Jay. Guys, please put some respect on Zola 7.
Wow. No, I gave him a chain lamu Jay Leno, and then go perform South Africa. Because I think he was on the way. I was still gonna stay in America.
Okay.
But we met. We talked about things and maybe Sazwe and Zega in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear that the director of Tsotsi, Gavin Hood, specifically needed you to do the soundtrack for Tsotsi because he felt like it was probably a reflection of South African township culture.
Yes. And Kevin, because we need him now. He needs to come and ever. I hear he went and directed Wolverine.
Yes, he's international now.
Yeah, he's international.
Proper international now.
We need to talk loud. But yeah, he needed a song from me, and it was also a situation of a character because I needed to be slightly older than the late Presley, and I needed to speak a certain language. So that's how basically I got the job. But
did the whole Tsotsi experience change your view? Because here you are, a boy from Zola. Now all of a sudden we're in America, and I've done also a song to this film that's now won an Oscar.
The Oscar.
It reads like a fairy tale.
I saw them all there.
Yeah,
they are so simple. He out in just background. And then when he called me by name, I was like, how do you know me? He says I play golf in South Africa. So but there was very simple. I think at some point we ended up in a house. Yeah, utoli party ni party sasmenyo kona usis Nandi. She's always been with him. Lion King, I say America. I think she's part.
So you were at Dolly Parton's house.
Yes.
Beninzan.
It's a huge South African community.
Yeah.
So there are people who are still doing Lion King, La Payana. There are people who are directors. There are people who are cameramen. If you walk in Hollywood, I'm sure within 30 minutes you'll pick up a language you know from home. It's not as complicated as not that
think.
facade they show a TV. They're just ordinary people, and a lot of them have houses in South Africa, by the way.
How did it change your perception of what we as South Africans can do and how our music, our television, our personalities travel and are received so well?
I want to art is actually the cosmetics of a country. America understands that. In other places, America does not have to send guns. They just send an artist. And the artist comes and dominates us, and then the culture changes. At that point in time, we thought South Africa understands this. That's why we went and got the Oscar there.
We are in conversation with the legendary Zola 7. If you've got any questions, give us a call. We're hanging out with Zola 7. This is probably, this is the moment, an iconic moment that we were talking about earlier on.
Since I'm here to present the award for Best Foreign Language Film, I thought that this might be a good time to say hello to all the hundreds of millions of people watching around the world. So, here we go. And the Oscar goes to...
Drum roll, please.
Tsotsi.
Yes!
Accepting the award, Director Gavin Hood.
And the country loses its mind. Like literally that moment is so iconic. But I want to know what was happening inside. So you guys get to this Oscar. You come back home and then what?
Hey, I don't understand why a lot of people go and represent this country somewhere and they come back, they're like, there's nobody at the airport. Because when we got there was a lot of people just coming to say, well done, you boys. So we're touring around the country. And then we ended up cricket
Wanderers,
Wanderers and then they have to announce us, and somebody said, ladies and gentlemen, the Tsotsis are in the house. And then white people started packing their baskets
Stop it.
and sandwiches.
Hide your phones. Hide your phones.
Everyone, hide your phones.
Off my chair.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious.
But it was nice because we needed to take it also to Oscar to a lot of ghettos around the country. We need to take it to a clip down where other parts were shot, just to show the community Nabantwana, hey, by the way, we went and we got this. And that same suit I was wearing there. So I kept this suit.
Okay.
When I said to Machita, ngifuna ukuyigqoka le suit lena, angisakho ngomncwabo kaLebo.
Mathosa.
Yeah, ngathi because beka uma fashion. So I'm gonna rock this. You know, I never saw where she lies up to today.
Why is that?
There were so many cars in front of us. By the time we got to the cemetery, umfundisi bekaqedile.
Sure.
You know, so we all did a U-turn. We went to some house and we thought maybe we go Bolana. And it was just a house party. So there's a lot of us who never saw where Ulebo was still rocking, even in the grave. So we never saw where Ulebo lies up to today. Yeah.
We forget that you guys must have all been like friends.
Yes.
So, Boski bad.
Hey, Ulebo impinchi kalo. Impinchi pojo, manager.
Yeah.
You know, and Ulebo was just something else. One day she rocks up a showing kuna matende and stuff, and then I'm a cubicles and she doesn't have hers, and she goes to AM and she says, "Hi Zola, kunjani sharp, get out. The girls need to dress." I'm like, my chimbos up,
out,
let's go,
out.
Yeah, you know, she had that authority.
Yeah, of course.
And she was one person that I could see Ashinjaga for.
In
one session,
yeah,
you know, she would get on stage. I mean, this was amazing. I don't know, where did she get so many costumes?
Where did she even get that idea? Because I think most artists weren't even doing that to begin with. Would see in the middle of a show you're changing.
Yeah, Lebu did it. She was just on another level.
We've got a bunch of people waiting to speak to you, Zola. Eve, Zola's here.
Hi, Mr. Zamini. How are you?
Sabana Nkosazana Njani, Shinchitone, man.
Do you even remember which Eve this is? Don't act crazy now.
Kunjan.
Eve Kopoto. Atuyamaza Sinyazana.
Makoboto.
Yes. How are you?
Oh my God. Kunjani. Shab, who's getting married? I got some WhatsApp after 1 million years.
It's my sister.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so you invited to a wedding?
The one you keep on bumping into. But anyway, let me keep this short. I'm parked on the side of the road. I wanted to say, you know, you've come such a long way. You've proved yourself. And we just want to see more of you. Like, come out, come proud. You don't pass on the baton. Still carry
you have the baton.
We still want you out there, and we'll continue to support you, and we love you so much. My sisters, I told them that the radio is going to call me back, and I said, guys, listen, our brother, you know, we'll always love you, and we'll always support you. So we want more of you.
Thank you, Stando Sam.
Eve, thank you.
Mama Zong Tandaze.
There's more to the story than meets the eye. What's going on? What's happening?
I remember my mom was a pastor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Pumzile, you also, I want to say something to Zola.
Hi, Tando. Hi, James. Put Zola royalty by
I'm telling you.
Hey! You've made our years so beautiful. You even rapped about it in one of your songs. I will never forget that line from that song, because you did exactly that for us. You made our childhood. I'm sure about 2 years.
Yes.
I was so excited. I was like, why am I released? But and I still have so much respect for you. We love you so much. Anything you do, Baba, you will forever be ours. For the great talent you have shared with us.
Thank you, my love.
Wow, what a beautiful call, Pumzile. Yeah. So, what would happen? What would you be giving them then, Zola?
No, we used to buy a sweetie and just a party and stuff. and just drive around and just hoy and keep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, sometimes Umtu would be there, Umandoza and he would join me. I would just go stenga sweet and and just hoist kabantwana. And then after that, we would go chill panaka watemba and is our guilt is staying importantly.
That is our guilt. Ms. P, good afternoon.
Sandra, I can't believe you.
It's happening, Ms. P. You're here, Zola's here.
Guys, the living legend, Zola 7. I love Zola so much, guys. Up to date, I'm still listening to his music every single day on my way to work. Zola, my brother, thank you so much for everything that you've done for us. Thank you for raising us. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for the communities in South Africa. Siyakuthanda kakhulu. Uthando lwami for wena lungango lwami.
Love it.
Thank you,
Ms. P. Thank you. Bashimani, you're the last one. Talk to Zola. He's here.
Zolisto.
Cow.
Did you think I would leave you there? I love you, Nyukelege. On side every day, ne? Zolisto, Pagama, Nyukbandege.
I am.
My brother. No, my brother, you've always been my childhood superhero. I've never met you in real life, but, you know, you've touched me in so many ways with Zola 7. I remember the episode as a young kid in primary school, 2003. And, yeah, I mean, I've always valued you so much, and I got so hurt when your health was not okay, but I believe that you'll be back, and, yeah, you'll just take good care of your health, and, you know, just bear in mind that you are a childhood superhero. We've always looked up to you, and we love you dearly as a nation. Take care of yourself.
Bashimani, thank you so much for that call. This is true. You raised us. All of us sitting here in this room, our childhood does not exist without Zola 7, either in our faces, on our screens, or as the backdrop to, you know, the music that we're listening to. So as to what Bashimani said, we know you weren't doing well. When was it? 2021. But you look strong, you look healthy, and I know you're a big advocate on chronic epilepsy and the fact that black people don't know what that is.
Yeah, hey, we need to put it out there and really have conversations about it, especially with the kids, because it's very scary when you see a child get seizures. We need to talk about it. I'm sort of like an indirect
advocate.
Yeah, advocate. Yeah.
How do you? If someone says, "What is chronic epilepsy?"
In Zulu.
No, in Zulu, in English, no mayin. Yonke washa like.
Angivele ngithi hayi gogo isifo sokuwa bese ngiyachaza ukuthi hayi gogo ke lesifo lesi sidinga lo dokotela ukuthiwa ke i-neurologist fanele awuhlola ingane ekhanda banendle bazoyiscan ingane ekhanda bathola ukuthi ingane idliwa yini bese bekunikeza umuntu ofanele bese ngichaza indaba yo 200 mg no 400 mg because I started ngo 400 mg. When it got better I went down. So because I know about gogo sometimes people say a lot of things.
I was about to ask. What would they say?
Some people still believe in that, but double check. Angisho those things but it's okay to thatha ingane ihambe yocheckwa. Bakhona bodokotela eBhara, bakhona naseZola clinic mangabe ungapha ngakithi ukuthi bawo double check umntwana owayo ukuthi unjani. And then the most important thing, everybody around that child must know exactly what to do when that child falls. As in, the teacher should know, or a couple of teachers, the friends, the kids they should know, the family members, they should know, because you must act immediately when that child falls. You must know exactly what to do. So I had to train the people around me. What happens should I fall either in lane or a stage or something. I think there's one boy who died on stage in South Africa.
Yes, Kostetich.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that video. I was like, whoa, this is really hectic. So you have to also train people around you to know exactly what must happen.
What it is.
What it is, yeah.
Right.
Because it's one of those things as South Africans, and we have to break them, and in Zulu, in Sotho, and Tswana, they have to trickle down into our languages.
We're hanging out with Zola 7. We'll do his Vava's J-Track. We are very late for news. Apologies. Nolutando's giving me the side eye. More with Zola next. We are in conversation with Zola 7. Z7 Maspele. We're talking a little bit off air about it, Zola, and if you're right with it. Can we speak about the chronic epilepsy and how you discovered that is what it was?
I passed out, like for real, I passed out so well too. And then when I opened my eyes, it was 5 weeks later. You know, the best thing about it is that I woke up looking as sexy as hell. I lost all the weight. You know, and I was fighting the nurses there because there were needles, you know, and there's something there in my totolos called a catheter that they needed to pull out. They needed to rush and get a doctor, and I just wanted to go home. But whoever said I should stay there, I shouldn't be moved, actually saved my life. And the boys that got to Soweto on time to resuscitate me, because I don't know how long I was actually out dead. I'm still looking for them.
So these are the guys who found you after you passed out. They're the ones who took you to the hospital.
The ambulance was close by, because when they called, those boys responded immediately.
Yeah.
And then they came and then they fought me to breathe again on my own. And then they moved me. And then a friend of mine told her, wherever he is, don't move him. Let him stay there, because those people already understand the condition. Then after that, we went through a lot of tests, and then I'm a diagnosis, and until another doctor, Dr. Koras told me, actually, you know, you are epileptic, but it is check. You gotta scan your brain, see what medication we can put you on. And then at some point was trying to explain to me, Guti, I think you need a mountain bike, or you need to do some jogging, because there's also people like me have met electricity can't. So you gotta jog.
You have to take it out somewhere.
Yeah, somehow. So if you have a kid like that kid must play sport. That's rule number one, you know. So it was like a whole game changer, a whole new life for me. The things that I needed to know that did not exist last week.
Well, we thank God that you are here to have this conversation with us.
I thank God. I think I had a conversation with him for 5 weeks while I was sleeping.
What did you see? You know, some people say when they're in a coma, they cross over to the other side and they see the light. And then you come back, you're like, hey, actually, Nkulunkulu is like, I'm not done with you yet.
You want me to answer that?
Yes.
That is a bit difficult.
No, truly, honestly.
Okay, it comes after a book that I read that fell off a shelf called Conversations Beyond the Veil by Jasper Swain. A guy that was in KZN who also crossed over. Couple of years after that, this thing happens to me. And I tried to find him, and they told me he had ever since passed on. Yeah, there's things you see on the other side.
What did you see?
Well, I mean, my heaven is more kind of rural, you know, with very big green trees. So these Roman pillars, they didn't exist where I was, you know. And I was having a conversation with a couple of people. I was finishing conversations, including my grandmother.
Sure.
Yeah, who passed in 1994, I think.
And you remember that vividly? You remember it clearly?
Clearly. So when I came back, there are things I can do, there are things I cannot do.
Does that then change how you live? Obviously.
It changes absolutely everything. Most likely, I'll be in my garden. If I've had my medication, I'll be in bed. Besides that, we are on the road all the time.
Yeah.
It changes completely everything. Because you feel like you're being given a second chance and you don't know why. Because cats who spend all of their lives going to church don't always get it. You know, and then you're like, okay, fine, life I'm finally changing. Then you relook everything.
Yeah.
That does not need a psychologist. But I'm not wishing anybody to go through that, what I went through.
Well, it makes sense why then this was your Vava's J track. All right, so the song that Zola chose today as his Vava's J track was released in 2024. Esandleni is a heartful worship anthem centered on trusting God through life's challenges. So, I mean, I don't even need to ask you why you chose the song. It's Zola's Vava's J track, Nontokozo Mkhize on 947. We just got really spiritual in this room. And I think yours and like your destiny and your purpose is so clear. Yes. I've never seen someone's purpose so clear. From the get-go. What you were meant to do is the callers we got today.
Yeah.
You are there to give hope.
Yes.
You are there to remind people who they are when they forget. Yeah. You are there to take people to the next when they think they can't because they lack.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, just with the song, you're saying God is saying each one of us is enough. I don't have enough words to thank you for the life that you lived or have lived and will continue to live in the name of Jesus. I'm getting very spiritual.
I can see.
So thank you. Thank you. Mrs. I don't know if you want to say something.
No, I mean, I think you've captured it all right there. In
the
essence of the phone calls and everything else.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zola 7.
It's all the stories that matter.
And the people behind them.
From the big moments
to the day-to-day grind.
We're delving deep into your story. On 947 Drive
with Tando.
It's all the stories that matter.
And the people behind them.
You're plugged into
Your Story on 947 Drive with Tando.